Have you ever played against someone who always knows exactly what you're doing, what corners you're gonna peek? It's like they've got superpowers, or it's almost like they're cheating, right? Well, they aren't cheating, they're just outplaying you. And the reason why you keep getting outplayed time and time again is because their game sense is more developed than yours. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact steps on how to build yours fast, and inside any game at that. But first, we need to know what game sense is. Put simply, it's your ability to understand what's happening in a game, even without seeing everything that's going on. It's understanding the flow of the game, predicting the enemy, and using those predictions to your advantage. Sounds a little overwhelming, right? Well, here's how one of the best Strinova coaches out there, Asanai, describes game sense. It's the ideas behind the mechanics, the expressions that your mechanics should be good enough to match. It's small but critical things such as timings, positionings to take, team play, utility, or how you play around intel and how you take said intel and make a game plan out of it. And if that makes you feel even more overwhelmed, all of that information can be boiled down into a single sentence. It's all of the thinking involved in a game. And you can say,
but why is it important? My game doesn't require me to think.
The games you play are irrelevant. Whether you play Strinova, Valorant, or Counter-Strike, or even non-shooters like Rocket League or Minecraft, game sense is always being used and being developed, even if you don't realize it. An example of this would be the map knowledge you have of your Minecraft world, or knowing when to hit the ball in Rocket League. So now that you understand game sense, let's talk about mechanics. Mechanics refer to your technical skills, such as how well you can control your character or execute an in-game action. There's a common misconception that terms like game sense and mechanics mean the same thing, and while they do complement each other, they couldn't be more different. I asked Asanai to help explain the difference between game sense and mechanics and how they complement each other. Here's what he had to say. Mechanics are how well someone can perform in-game actions, such as how well someone can aim, move and jump around, or use paper mode. It's kind of like how well someone can express their thoughts in their movements, while game sense is all of the thinking behind those movements. He then went on to say, good game sense can take a player far, but they can be held back by having poor mechanics, because amazing plays can't be imagined or achieved if the mechanics aren't up to par with the line of thought. It's the same for mechanics. They can take players just as far, but they'll be held back by poor decision making, and be put into situations where they'll be at a massive disadvantage, one that's too big for good mechanics to overcome. That's why top players of any game are so mechanically good, but are also well known for amazing decision making. Mastering both game sense and mechanics is the key to exponential growth in any game. As I've mentioned before, game sense consists of three outlines: understanding the flow, predicting the enemy, and using the predictions to your advantage. Understanding the flow allows players to know when momentum is shifting, when to push or hold back, and where teammates and opponents are positioned. And you might say,
that sounds like a lot of information to take in. How am I supposed to keep track of all that?
And you're right, that is a lot of information. But luckily for you, there's a free to use tool that every player has access to and visually helps you see all of the information. Can I get a drum roll, please? No? Okay. Well, it's the minimap. Underwhelming, right? Wrong! The minimap is the most important and most overpowered tool in any game, especially Strinova. As Asanai says, Strinova might have the most broken minimap he can think of, because even if a pixel of an enemy is on a teammate's screen, the player is revealed on the minimap. Here's a gameplay example.
I can smell you.
Did you see that? I was nowhere close to those guys, and because my teammates saw a pixel of them, I was able to see them. But what if I told you there's a way to make the minimap in Strinova even more busted? Changing the zoom of the minimap lets you see the entire map, so not only can you see what your teammates see, but you can see it literally from the opposite side of the map. But you're not the only one who needs to understand the flow. Informing teammates on information can be the difference between them surviving or dying on sight by themselves. It can be the difference between a fair 5v5 or a situation with insurmountable odds. And you can say,
I never talk because my team never talks.
And while that's a valid argument, The bottom line is, communicate. Just because no one talks back doesn't mean no one's listening. Once you begin to understand the flow of games more often, over time it'll turn into your in-game intuition, and building alongside your intuition will be your prediction skills. As mentioned before, prediction is the second outline of game sense. Prediction is the skill of anticipating what your opponent will do and before they do it. Whether you're pre-aiming in Counter-Strike, reading a play in Strinova, learning how to be one step ahead always gives you the edge over your opponent. Predictions themselves aren't always the easiest thing to make, but one thing that makes predicting enemies easier is locking in on their habits and taking advantage of them. Habits, some good, some bad, but almost every player has one. It could be that they always flank, or maybe they always use utility before peeking. The more you watch, the more patterns you'll pick up on. Patterns are information. Use them. If they've done it twice, chances are they'll do it a third time. Over time, reading the enemy's habits will become second nature, making the next point easier. Using predictions to outplay opponents is easier said than done. Depending on the situation, your prediction can lead to a risky 50-50 or a round-dominating decision. By asking yourself, what would I do in their shoes? It can help you anticipate their moves before they happen. Because if you can see a counterplay in your strategy, so can they. Defending the hypothetical counter can be the key difference between holding off the enemy until backup arrives and losing control of the round completely. It's all about thinking ahead and turning knowledge into action. Anyways, I'm Grivique, thank you so much for watching, and if this video helped you at all, make sure to stay tuned as I will be posting more content like this weekly. My next upload will be how to use your bad teammates to your advantage. But anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!
Thank you.